Hello and welcome to the September edition of Cycling Weekly's Tech of the Month. And we've got a display of new products. What have we got, guys?
Right, so we first saw these at Eurobike last year as a prototype, so a year ago, and we finally got the first production sample of these, which are the Giro Pro Light Tech Lace, which for me, this is the coolest cycling shoe in the world right now. If you've not seen these shoes before, the main selling point for them is that they are ridiculously light. And so I've not weighed them yet.
Should we get them out?
So let's weigh them. So thankfully, I've brought the Cycling Weekly Scales of Justice. There they are. Quite. This is a size 44 shoe. So we'll just have a quick look. Ooh, 160 grams.
So are these the lightest production shoe available?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there are light shoes out there, like those ridiculous Adam Hansen shoes that you can get custom made, one-piece carbon fibre thing, but they cost about £1 billion, and really, they're not really for sale. I mean, no. Yeah, these are going to be pretty expensive as well. You can't quite get them yet. There's been a bit of a delay, I think, in coming around. But in terms of what makes them light, there's no dial. They've used Velcro straps to save a bit of weight. They've got this special carbon sole, which is made from this special carbon fibre called Techstream, which is the same on their mega time trial Arrowhead helmet.
Which you've had in before, haven't you?
Yeah, it's the same Techstream carbon fibre, so it's used here, and it's got this cool square pattern on it.
This mesh is quite amazing as well.
Yeah, it's just super light and just super thin. And
there's nothing to it.
So these shoes are retailing roughly?
You can't quite get them yet at the time of making this video, but the price is set to be £349 retail, which is obviously very expensive, but pretty phenomenal shoe.
Well, compared to its rivals, I mean, it's a huge saving.
Yeah, huge weight saving. And you get like the replaceable footbeds as well, like you do on other Giro shoes, so you can change your insole depending on how your foot is. And yeah, I can't wait for these to be available. I think they're seriously awesome.
Yeah, I like them. And now I have bought something that we also first saw at Eurobike last year, but now we have it is the Lazer Bullet Aero helmet. Well, it's an aero helmet, but it's also a normal helmet because of this do-it-yourself vent on the front of the helmet.
Which we've seen before on other manufacturers. Cask, yeah. For example.
Yeah, so Lazer have also put it on here. They call it the Air Slide Ventilation on Demand. So there you go. So you're riding along, and if it gets a bit hot, you slide this up, and you've got a big hole in there, and then there's a series of slats that rise up like a Venetian blind, I've seen it described as online.
Lovely.
So there you go. And that also lets the air in there through these hexagonal holes on the front.
It looks quite smart. I mean, I chatted to a UK brand manager of Lazer, and he showed me a prototype a while ago, and we were both discussing it. It does look like a mixture of loads of different aero helmets out there. You know, Specialized Obeyed comes to mind.
Yeah,
with
the
shape.
Manta as well.
Exactly,
you know, the same type of shape. So it is elongated towards the back, so it's like a teardrop design, which Lazer say makes it more aerodynamic. They've put it in their own wind tunnel.
So you've been using this?
I've been riding in it. And I must say, actually, if you do slide the vent up, it is a pretty big hole, and you do immediately feel a change in venting. It does make it cooler. It's also very comfortable. It sits around your head rather than on your head, which is the worst feeling in a helmet when it does that. And the retention dial is pretty good as well. So it's comfortable to ride in, for sure. And it does cool you off when it gets too warm. So it's a nice piece of kit, yeah. And Lotto Soudal riding it.
Yeah, gripey.
Yeah, his helmet of choice.
So this is retailing at
£219.
Okay.
More expensive than the Lazer Z1, which it is coming in above of as Lazer's aero helmet now. It's also a bit more expensive than the competition.
So the likes of Special Evade, which is what, 170-ish?
Yeah, around there, I think. And it doesn't have MIPS, but you can get it with MIPS if you want the added safety.
I'm going to sort of come down a few £100 compared to you guys, and I've got the new Wahoo Mini. So this is the Mini, and as you expect, at $79.99, it doesn't have all the features and functions of the rest of their range, but it does have Bluetooth connectivity and ANT+. It will connect to external devices, but I'm yet to see anything on their app to suggest that you connect it to a power meter. You only have 3 data fields per screen, so it's very small, but they are very easy to read and they're large enough to glance down and see. As with the other computers from Wahoo, they are customizable via their app. But this will set you back, as I say, $79.99. It's stupidly lightweight. It's 30 grams.
If we put it on the scales of justice.
31 grams.
31.
There we go. And they're suggesting it's 31.2, so it's pretty on the money. But yeah, there's my offering from Wahoo. Great big.
Should we do the bike?
Let's move on to Bike of the Month, and Oliver is in charge of the bike this time, and I see you have a Lapierre.
I do. So, it's the new Lapierre Air Code, which is Lapierre's aero bike. Yeah. You went to the launch, didn't you, Rupert?
For the first time in Tech of the Month, I've actually ridden the Bike of the Month, so I'm very excited. And I went to the launch in Fréjus in the south of France.
Nice part of the world.
Lovely part of the world. And lovely bike, actually, I thought. Yeah, really nice to ride, comfortable, stiff, and climbs well, actually, as well. That was the one thing I took away.
Yeah, so I took the bike out last week. I went to Nice for the week.
Similar part of the world.
Yeah, near to Fréjus, and rode.
You boys are doing great.
Yeah. Rode, the Col de la Madone and all the climbs around there, and it's a very hilly part of the world. And yeah, I can also attest it does climb well. But I also rode the previous version. This one is much better. I really like the spec that they've gone with on this particular model. It's got the new Dura Ace mechanical on it with a Pro compact chain set. And also these Mavic wheels, which are absolutely awesome. We've reviewed these previously, and they're basically the only carbon clinchers of which the braking I trust. Other little things they've done I like as well, like it's got a new Lapierre handlebar on, which is their proprietary bar. It's an aero bar, and they've put a 40cm bar on, which is just, it's an aero bike. It's good, that's what we want. A lot of people can go narrow bars and don't, and I like that they've done that. I think it's a good move. I'm starting to see it on a few bikes, which is a bit strange because it is a 56 equivalent size frame. So normally in the past we've seen 42 bars on, but coming that little bit narrower makes you a bit more aero. So that's good.
Well, you're paying the money and you're buying an aero bike, so why waste it?
Yeah, but yeah, it's lighter than the old one. It's much more comfortable than the old one, and it feels faster than the old one. Although I should point out, it doesn't feel as out fast as a Trek Madone or a Venge Vias. There's not as much integration, so you probably wouldn't expect that, but I guess the counter to that is that it's much easier to live with.
One of the things that Lapierre wanted to do with this bike as well is improve its handling, because they said at their launch, they said the sprinters from FDJ were coming to them and saying, look, the bike is fast, but it's no good if we can't get it round that final bend before the straight. So they went away and they've altered that, and it seems to be working. Demar, he won on it at the Tour, so it's already taken stage wins. So it's a nice piece of kit, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's got quite a nice long front centre, I noticed, actually, when I was riding it. There was no chance of me catching my foot on the front wheel when I was turning the thing, I mean.
Yeah, it's definitely been a concerted effort from Lapierre to improve things in that way, for sure.
Cool.
Nice one, guys. Thanks for that. That concludes Bike of the Month and Tech of the Month. We'll see you next time. You give me something.
That's a point. I need to do my gram for today.
Your gram for today?
Yeah, try and get a post on every day.
Every day.
That consistency is key.